Today we continue our conversation on percents and solving for percents and parts of numbers by talking about the percent equation. So what we're going to learn today is how to use the percent equation to find the percent, the part, or the whole of a number. Now yesterday we talked about the percent proportion. You might find that you prefer the percent proportion, but it is essential that we learn how to use the percent equation. But later on, whenever you need to solve a percent problem, especially on the test, you will have the option to choose whether to use the percent equation or the percent proportion. But for this lesson and for your in-class assignment tomorrow, I'm going to ask that we practice the percent equation. Now, the vocabulary is short for this. The percent equation says that the part is equal to the percent multiplied by the whole. But in this case, the percent must be written as a decimal. Okay, so when you take this down, remember the percent must be written as a decimal. So when I look at this problem that's written right in front of me here, I'm looking at the problem 3 is 50% of 6. So if I were to not know that the 6 was there, I could say 3 is 50% of what number? If I didn't know what percent, I could say what percent of 6 is 3, and if I didn't know the 3, I could say 50% of 6 is what number? Okay, so I could word out 3 problems based on this situation. Now, the percent equation can be used to find, exactly like the proportion was, it can be used to find the percent, the part, or the whole. So 3 examples. If I'm looking for the percent, I might have a problem like 3 is what percent of 6? That would look like this, 3 equals n times 6. Now when you solve this, you're going to get n equals 0.5. And remember, the percent is written in decimal form, so we know that this is 50%. Now when we say what number is 50% of 6, again, we have to write the percent as a decimal. So we know that this is going to be p equals 3. We know that 3 is 50% of 6. Finally, if I'm looking for the whole, 3 is 50% of what number? Again, notice that percent is written as a decimal. 3 is 50% of what number? 3 equals 0.5 times whatever that number is. Then we can figure out, once we divide by 0.5 on each side, that W is equal to 6. Pretty simple, all right? Let's give this a practice here. What number is 46% of 200? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to review my equation, okay? So I know that part is equal to the percent multiplied by the whole. And I know the percent must be written in decimal form. So in this particular case, I know that 200 is the whole, and I'm looking for the part. So in this case, my variable is going to be representing the part. That is equal to, again, we have to write the percent as a decimal, multiplied by 200. So when I solve this, I get x equals 92. All right, and I know that 92 is 46% of 200. I think about it, yeah, it is a little bit less than a half of 200. Okay, now if we were using the percent proportion in this particular section or this particular question, we would have x over 200 equals 46 over 100, and we would solve from there, and that would give us that x is equal to 92. Okay, but today we are working on the equation. So we move on to our next question. 26 is what percent? So I know I'm looking for the percent of 32, and again, we know that the part is equal to the percent multiplied by the whole. In this case, I know that 26 is the part. I don't know what the percent is, but I do know that the whole is 32. Now, we never write the variable before the number, so I'm going to clean this equation up. I'm going to write 26 is equal to 32x. Well, to isolate my variable, I'm going to divide by 32 on each side. And I'm going to get that x is equal to 50. Sorry, x is equal to not 50, but 0.8125. Now I know that I'm not done yet because my percent was written as a decimal. So to turn this into a decimal, I know I need to multiply by 100 or move my decimal 2 places to the right. So my final answer is 81.25%. Okay, so 26 is 81.25% of 32. All right, again, feel free to pause here and see if you can try this out before looking back for the answer. So 13 is 26% of what number? Here I'm given the part and the percent, but I'm not given the whole. So again, the percent equation says that the part is equal to the percent written as a decimal multiplied by the whole. So in this case, I have 13 equals 0.26x. I'm going to isolate my variable by dividing by 0.26 on each side. And I'm going to get 50 is equal to x. So I know that 13 out of 50 is 26%. Okay, let's go on to one more example before we get to our problem of the day. A survey found that 36% of people preferred comedies over action movies. If 450 people prefer comedies, how many people were surveyed? So I know that part of my total population preferred comedies, and that part was equivalent to 36% of the whole. So I don't know the whole here. Okay, so one last time, we know that part is equal to percent multiplied by the whole. So in this case, I have 450 is equal to 0.36x. I'm going to isolate my variable by dividing by 0.36 on each side. And I'm going to get that x is equal to 1,250. So I know that there are 1,250 people surveyed. Okay, so basically your percent proportion is boiled down into this equation form by turning your percent into a decimal. So whereas before it was a percent out of 100, so you didn't have to really, that 100 took the decimal portion away for you and it left the percent as just the percent. Here you just have to take that extra step if you're solving for the percent to change it back to a percent and not a decimal. So here's your problem of the day. There are 400 boys at MacArthur Middle School and 12% play hockey. What is the number of boys who play hockey? This will be the first thing that we go over in class tomorrow. So good luck, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.